Hey everybody, welcome back to Stuck Not Stopped. We are on episode 4 and the second one for this month. I finally got back around to it. I completely missed November, so I'm glad that I kind of made up for that a little bit. Posted, within the first 2 weeks of this month of December, and here we are again, finally back on track on the 17th. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, and it's kind of no, not even kind of. It's completely irrelevant to the series, but I post on the 17th because 17 is my lucky number. Fun fact. I want to mention something that I know I had already mentioned earlier on my Instagram, collaborating with a pelvic floor physical therapist, as well as another podcast page, which is being discussed and trying to be scheduled. So hopefully soon we'll get to that. I was expecting to do that a little earlier on, but things happened on both ends that kind of just prevented some progress with that, but we're coming up soon, I promise. And I want to let you guys know that my DMs are always open. It makes my day that you guys trust me enough to be open with me, say anything you want. I'm always willing to listen and talk. It makes me feel like I'm helping people, and that's why I started this project. I want people to talk with each other. I want people to talk to me. I want people to reach out with this subject of having vaginismus and going through these kinds of struggles, because it affects our lives in so many different ways. And I feel like the more that we all kind of normalize this thing that isn't normal to be going through, it can help everybody put that another step forward to finding help, because it's an embarrassing topic and it shouldn't be. You know, there's always those I don't know if stereotypical is the right word. I guess common cliche sayings of, if you break a bone, you go to a surgeon, you get it fixed. If you get sick, you get a cold, you go to the doctor, you get medicine, and you should do the same thing for your mental health. And that's not to say that, everybody should go right to physical therapy for vaginismus, but, I think that it's worth talking about. It's absolutely worth bringing more attention to. It's absolutely worth shedding some light on this. And I think that this is something we can do to help each other. So like I said, always feel free to DM me if you want. I'm always willing to listen and talk. And if you're enjoying these episodes, give me a like and subscribe. It helps my channel and helps this community continue to grow. That felt like an announcements kind of section of this. I'm still a little rambling and awkward with getting started on these topics. So let's just get into it. Aside from mood and cognitive disorders, which was discussed in the last episode, link to that is in the description box. Today, I'm going to be talking about discussing the relationship with yourself. So this is a little bit different. It's still focused on vaginismus, but the core that I wanted to get to today is self-love, because I feel like that can be, it should never be a topic that's talked about too much. I honestly don't think that's possible. Self-love and self-acceptance and enjoying your own company is something that I feel like a lot of people have to learn and grow with and adapt to, and it changes as our lives go on. And all of those external factors affect us internally, which connects to pelvic floor disorders such as vaginismus. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, especially getting into the winter season. Holidays are bittersweet, whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Diwali or Christmas or Kwanzaa or Yule, etc., because we're all busy with baking or gift buying or decorating or whatever it may be. And sometimes we feel an enhanced sense of loneliness with the weather getting darker and how cold it can be, despite all these lights and decorations and all the busy atmosphere and stuff. I feel like, and maybe that's just me, but personally I feel I've definitely struggled with winter in general. And so it's not always the best time for me to be doing everything. And even though the holidays can be such a fun time, something just kind of feels off. And I feel like those are some external factors that we have to cope with. And, having self-love outside of genital scenarios is just as important. This is a huge component to internal factors. Taking care of yourself on the days you're stressed improves the relationship you have with you. It's the most important relationship you'll ever have. And learning how to be comfortable with your own company, I think, is a path to finding solace in yourself. And I think that can relate to any kind of physical struggle that we're going through. And in our case, vaginismus, I feel like the more I accept myself and the more I take care of myself, I feel more comfortable overall. And I have a different attitude about this disorder. I feel like when I'm in a good headspace, I kind of go into this, whether that is dealing with a menstrual situation or dealing with a sexual situation, I kind of go into the whole thing thinking, if it happens, great. And if it doesn't, then it just doesn't. Compared to when I'm stressed out, when I'm not taking great care of myself, I feel this pressure. I feel like it has to happen. It has to happen. And if it happens once, it has to happen again. Like, I feel like sometimes we put all this pressure on ourselves for something that we don't need to put pressure on, because this requires time and patience, which wraps back to my point of self-love. These are things that we have to practice. Self-care doesn't have to be this picturesque bath bomb and wine glass photo. Like, you know how hard it is to make a picture that way? Maybe I just have ugly bathroom lighting, but it is not happening. Like, I've tried it before and I'm like, what? I don't know. Like, my kneecaps look weird, or like I have this like pink bath. It's ugly. I have this like complaining about stupid stuff. I have this pink bathtub and the lighting is like yellow, and it's just not a good photography setting. You know what I mean? Anyway. And like, I mean, even if that is your type of self-care, whip out the camera, paint your toes for an extra effect. But if it isn't your thing, don't guilt yourself for doing what I do and vegging out with comfort food and Netflix or Xbox and video games. Some people get the intense workout in they've been meaning to get, or some people finally get to read books all day. And it's okay to do nothing. Everything you do to comfort yourself is of equal value to anybody else. I'm not saying that having vaginismus means you have lowered self-esteem and therefore you must do these things. I think that everybody should do these things regardless of what they have, regardless of what they're going through. I think it's extremely important for people to find ways, especially during times that are more difficult. And like I said, personally for me, that is right now during winter months and the holidays, to take care of themselves. And I know that I've been saying that like 10,000 times, like take care, self-love, take care. And I feel like even though those words have been used so many times, I never think that they could ever be exhausted, because we brush over them so quickly that we don't take time to realize the depth of what that means. So, like I said, having vaginismus doesn't necessarily mean you have a lowered self-esteem. They can certainly be correlated, which is why loving yourself outside of your pelvic floor disorder or disorders is important. And you know, I don't really know how else to end this except abruptly, as usual. And I know this was super short. I just don't have any more to say, really. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. I hope you guys are being gentle and patient and kind and loving and nurturing. I'm thinking that for more episodes to come, to share anonymous stories from other people so we can all feel more connected and empathize with other people's experiences with this. So if you want to start participating in this project, feel free to leave your story in my DMs on Instagram or send me an email. The email will be linked in the description box below. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Check out my blog website for more links and Instagram pages to follow. I hope you guys have a wonderful winter season. I'll see you next year. I'm sorry, I'm really awkward. I'll talk to you next time. Bye, guys.